Hello and welcome to the Kayden Gordon Show, today's best country mix. And joining me right here today is Will Carter. Will, how are you?
I'm fantastic. Thanks for having me.
Totally my pleasure. So why don't you start by telling everyone a little bit about you and how you started on your musical journey?
Sure. I'm the oldest of four. I grew up on a self-sustaining farm about 30 minutes west of Houston in Texas, a little town called Sealy. And I grew up very old-fashioned for most of my peers. We had a 3-acre garden, and I milked goats every morning and gathered eggs and worked on the farm. We made our own soap and shampoo at one point. It was an interesting experience growing up, but it was a I wouldn't trade it for anything. I still have the property today, and now we just go out there to ride horses and 4-wheelers and goof off and have a good time. But it was a lot of work. My dad was a he was diagnosed with terminal cancer when I was 11, and so that was me being the oldest of four. And my mom was she'd always just been a mom, so he was definitely the family leader, and that was a pretty tough subject for all of us. But um, I wanted to. He finally got to the point where he couldn't work, and I put out a CD that I sold to kind of to raise money to help out however I could. At the time, I was going on 13. It was about a 2-year battle, and when I was I'm being the oldest, when I was first born, my dad, he was 6'4", 250 pounds, thought I was going to be a football player, and so he put me in tap, ballet, jazz, gymnastics, wrestling, boxing, all of that from like the time I was 3 until until 13, because he put me. The idea was to learn agility and balance to grow into be an athlete. But my mom, as beautiful as she is, she's like 5'3" and weighs like 95 pounds. So I am not a football player physique, essentially, but I did take to music at an early age because of that, and I just kind of stuck with it. And then when I put the CD out to kind of help raise money for our family, I remember the last 2 months of my dad's life. He literally had that CD on repeat next to his bed, 24/7, and it would burn up. And my mom would wake me up in the middle of the night and go, "Hey, I need another CD." And so my dad, we didn't have a whole lot of money, and he would support me every way he could. He thought it was cool that his kid had a musical talent because he did not have any musical talent. So it was something that he was very proud of and very supportive of. And so whether or not we had the money to do it, he found a way to drive me all over the state to play in fairs and festivals and talent contests and just really anywhere I could get in. And supported me through through my childhood, and then all the way up until the end, just by watching how much he believed in me. Having that CD running 24/7 was a motivation for me. It's the not only pursue my dreams and chase my passion, which is music, but also I kind of feel like on some degree that I owe it to him. It's a tough road. It's a tough
Hmm.
industry. It's a grind for sure. There's a lot of ups and downs, and there's wins and there's heartbreaks, and you have to absolutely love it. But I do, and like I said, I do it for me, and I also do it for him.
That's awesome considering, like you just said, you guys were not, financially stable. So the fact that he, had so much courage in you was just overwhelmingly amazing.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Absolutely. So, do you have any upcoming singles, any upcoming projects that you want to tell us a little bit about, Will?
Sure. We just released our third album in October of last year. We are currently pushing our 13th single to Texas radio. We've had um, our most recent was our first top 10 on the Texas country charts. We've got uh, our current single "Wrong Side of Town" just broke the top 40. It's still moving up, and I'm actually here in the studio today, wrapping up the vocals for our next single, which will be coming out this fall. I've in the past I've always used session musicians. I'd write the song and then I would go
Hmm.
and send a demo to these studios, and they would part out the different pieces. But as of about 6 months ago, we kind of changed gears, man. We went back in time a little bit, and we just decided to start doing things the old school way. We had a specific song. Our song "Wrong Side of Town" that's out now is a song that we won contests with, and it's been a fan favorite and crowd favorite, and for about 7 years now we've been playing it, and my label's been asking for that song, because and radio's been asking for that song. But the problem was, we had it produced twice, and I wasn't happy with what the studio musicians or the producers did with it. Not that it was bad, it was just different,
Hmm.
right? And it's everybody just kind of wants they love it live. And so I said, you know what, two times is enough. Let's just go to the studio and bang this out the old school way. I mean, most of your artists today, they have their band that plays with them live when they're performing, but that's not the same band they use in the studio. And I'm fortunate enough to have such an amazing group of very very talented musicians in my live band that they can also do studio work. So we went in the studio, we banged it out the old school way, just press play and do what we do on stage, and we absolutely love it. Radio's been loving it. It's been flying its way up the charts. So the new strategy is to do the rest of the album and the preceding albums the same way. So we just came in and knocked out the second single, and we're working on the rest of the tracks for the new album over the next couple of months. So we're shooting for a kind of a late fall release for the new album, which will be our first one. It'll be our fourth album, but the first one that's kind of done the way it all started, where you bring the guys in the studio, press record, and
Hmm.
do what you do.
And that's probably why a lot of people like it, is because you're bringing back a old way of doing music.
I think so. It's real. I mean, it's also it can be just discouraging when you go to a show and you hear a song by an artist that you love so much, and then you go to a concert and it doesn't sound anything like the record.
Yeah,
They can't replicate the 7 layers of guitars and all the extra instruments and whatever else that people are putting in music these days. So it's the same guys doing the same thing in the studio that we're going to do on the stage this weekend, and it's definitely different than what's going on out in the music world right now. But I guess for lack of better words, we don't care. We're going to do what we do, and if you like it, great. And if you don't, well, that's fine too.
fantastic. If you had the opportunity to duet or collaborate with any singer, Will, who would you choose and why?
Wade Bowen, hands down, he's been my favorite Texas country artist since man I was a young, just getting into the Texas music scene as a listener, not even really an
Hmm.
artist or at the time, but this was back in my A&M days, early college, that kind of thing. And I've been waiting for my chance to at least open for him. We've actually started talking to his team as of recently, so hopefully that'll happen in the near future. But the idea to cut a song with him would be a bucket list dream come true for sure.
For sure, for sure. I know you mentioned before we started the interview here that you wanted to play a song or two. Why don't you tell us what you want to play and why you wrote the song?
Sure. I wrote this song a few months ago. I was on my way to the Texas Regional Radio Awards, and you know, I like when as a writer, you want the whole purpose behind the song is for people to be able to relate to it, and as different as everyone is, we're all very very similar at the core. And so when I do write, when I write, I have my reason behind the song, but I try to give it a little bit of flexibility so that people can interpret it, their own way, right? And so the idea behind the song is that you're struggling with something, whether it's whether it's a fight with your wife or your girlfriend, or it's an addiction or whatever it may be, right? You're struggling with something, and you just get in your car and you drive, and maybe you don't even know where you're going, but then you stop, at a gas station for say, and you go there, you meet a stranger there, and that stranger just says something, and it's just a quick little interaction, and those words, you start reflecting on them when you get back in the car, you get back on the road and you're driving and you're just thinking about what they just said, and it hits you in a way that maybe it makes you turn around and go back home and make amends or whatever. That's kind of really up for the listener to plug in what their exact situation is. But that's the gist of it. They just say a few words, but those words end up
Hmm.
meaning something special to you. So anyway, this is it. This will be our next radio single as well. And the title of the track is "I Had It All Wrong." Trying to make wrong feel so right. Hiding behind these walls of pride. Something's gotta give, but it ain't gonna be tonight. Holding on, when I've been up, I've been down to myself out of this town. Chased her roll till the sun came up. Man with no name, something to say. He said a whole lot, but he didn't say much. Now I'm tearing down easy tonight. Wondering how to change my life. I guess I had it all wrong. Making simple be so easy. It's more than just a peaceful feeling. Simple as it seems, you can't slow life if you try. Don't go chasing desire. I've been up, I've been down to myself out of this town. Chased her roll till the sun came up. There's men with no name, something to say. He said a whole lot, but he didn't say much. Now we're staring down these nights, wondering how to change my life. I guess I had it all wrong. Pieces fit on. I've been up, I've been down, drove myself out of this town. Chased her rolls till the sun came up. Met a man with no name, something to say. He said a whole lot, but he didn't say much. Now I'm sitting down easy tonight. I'm watching that change my life. I guess I had it all wrong. I guess I had it all wrong.
Such a great song there. Great job, Will, on that one.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So, if people want to find you, where can they find you on social media?
If you can remember Will Carter Band, you can find me anywhere. I was fortunate enough to have everything match, which is very hard to do these days.
I
But
know.
I got lucky. I got lucky. So the website's willcarterband.com and all of the socials are Will Carter Band.
Well, there you go. That's awesome. Not many people can do that, especially with like the same name and everything. It's like, that's awesome.
Yeah, we got very lucky.
You did. You did for sure. Do you have a message to those who might be listening, watching this?
Hey, chase your dreams and never give up on them.
Awesome. That is so, so true. Well, is there anything that I forgot that you'd like to mention today?
Well, I'll tell you what. I love music. Music is my passion, and I love every aspect of it. I love radio tours. I love the interviews. I love recording. I love writing. But my favorite piece of the whole thing is the live show, and so much so that we bring down. We've done it 3 times now, but just recently we wrapped up another 40-hour session with Tom Jackson Productions, and he is a world-renowned live show producer. So the week before, he was working with us one-on-one to basically help us design our show. He was working with the band Perry, and the week before that, it was Rascal Flatts, and the week before that, it was Taylor Swift. So, anyways, we put a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of practice and a lot of thought into our show, and we work with the best in the industry to help us make sure that our show is the best that it can be. And so, all that to say, it's my favorite piece of it, and we want to entertain people. So check out the website, check out the tour dates, and come see us live and hang out.
Fantastic. Will Carter, thank you so much for taking the time to come on the Kayden Gordon Show today's Best Country Mix. We really do appreciate your time and support so, so much.
Likewise, and thank you so much for having me.